Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ba'd, barakallahu feekum. We have to finish up where we left off in our last lesson, right? We did not finish lesson 36, is that right? So let's go back to lesson 35 and read the text. قال الإمام ابن الآجروم رحمه الله تعالى. His name was what? Abu Abdullah, okay. Muhammad ibn Muhammad ibn Dawood As-Sin with the Sawad As-Sin Haji ibn Jarrum. So now we read from what we're calling lesson 35, 18 things that make verbs Majzoom. Just to clean up everything, all 18. وَالْجَوَازِمُ ثَمَانِيَةَ عَشَرٍ. The jawazim أي الأدوات الجازمة بعضها أسماء بعضها حروف أدوات كلها. Just use the word adat when you're not sure if it's an ism or a harf. You say it's adatu jazm. Yeah? Adatu jazm. So al-jawazim here means al-adawatul jazima. And the nawasib you can say al-huruf al-nasiba, because they're all huruf. But when you come over here to the jawazim, there's a mix of huruf and asma. So you can say al-adawatul jazima. That's the meaning of al-jawazim. ثمانية عشر. There's 18 of them. How many of them affect one single verb? Sitta. Nam, sitta. The first 6 of the first 9. The first 6 of lesson 35. The first 6 only. Then the remaining 13, because it's actually 19. The one in poetry is not really counted. But the remaining adawat tajzimu fi'lain. They make 2 verbs majzoom. Barakallahu feekum. So the first 6 then, وهي لم ولما وألم وألم ولام الأمر والدعاء ولا في النهي والدعاء. Notice the 6 items here are firstly lam, lamma, alam, alamma. So the first 2, repeat it with a hamza, a taqreer, or a hamza istifham after it. So lam and alam, lamma and alamma, whatever order you put them in. Those are the first 4, real easy to remember. Right? And they affect how many verbs? One verb. If there are 2 verbs that are majzoom, then the second one will be ma'tuf al awwal. But there's not 2 needed verbs for these adawat. Then you have lamul amri wad du'a'i, lamul amri wad du'a'i, and the la fi nahi wad du'a, and the la. So one is a lam, that means a harf, a single harf. It's the lam that comes. It's called lam al-amr. It comes with the fi'l mudari'. It's jazima. Give me an example. Who knows that one? Lam al-amr. فَلْيَشْرَبْ. فَلْيَشْرَبْ with a fa. Change it to a wow. فَلْيَشْرَبْ وَلْيَشْرَبْ. مَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيَقُلْ. Not فَلَا يَقُلْ, but فَلْيَقُلْ. Put a sukoon on the lam. أو, the other one, this is أو عاطفة. لِيَصْمُتْ. لِيَسْكُتْ in some narrations. وَلْيَسْمُتْ. He doesn't say وَلْيَسْمُتْ. He says أو لِيَسْمُتْ. It's a kasra on the lam. لِيَسْمُتْ. Not a fatha. Lam does not have a fatha. It's لِيَشْرَبْ. لِيَشْرَبْ, لِيَأْكُلْ, لِيَجْلِسْ, لِيَسْكُتْ. Naam, that lam is maksura. طيب, that's the lam al-amr. It's called lam al-amr lil-ghayb, for the third person. Then we have the la fi nahi. This is called la al-nahiya. The la of prohibitions, the la of forbidding something. And it's also the la of dua. So you say, La takilni ila nafsi tarfata aynin. Don't leave me to myself for the blink of an eye, in your dua, right? So this la, you're not prohibiting Allah from something. What are you doing? You're begging Him not to leave you to yourself. La tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana. So la tuzigh from azagha yuzighu. La tuzigh qulubana. Yeah, you're not commanding Allah to not allow your heart to stray, but you are begging Him not to allow your heart to stray. Barakallahu feekum. That's called la an-nahiya, and it's in dua as well, the la of dua. وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا مَا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا بِهِ. Don't put on us the burden that we can't bear, that we don't have the abilities to bear. Then in wama waman. What's different about these 3? تجزم فعلين in وما ومن. And I've given you examples for all of those. Then look for lesson 36. We have ومهما وإذما وأي ومتى وأيان وأين وأن وحيثما وكيفما وإذا في الشعر خاصة. Those 9 more. 10 more if you count إذا. 10 more if you count إذا. So number 11 is إذما. And we've given you the example from Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen. What was the example he mentioned that you took? إذما تجلس أجلس. Yani, whenever you sit, as soon as you sit, I sit. Whenever you sit, I sit. 2 people are standing and one says, shouldn't we sit down to talk? So he says, أنا معك, I'm with you. إذما تجلس أجلس. What about مهما? The first one, I went out of order there. مهما. مهما تأتينا به من آية لتسحرنا بها فما نحن لك بمؤمنين. That's the best example we can give from the book of Allah, and the only example I could find in the book of Allah of mahma. With that, it doesn't have 2 fi'ls, does it? It has 1 fi'l mudari'. Where's the other fi'l? It has to have another fi'l, even if it's muqaddar or mu'awwal or mahal. It's mahal. أيوة. فما نحن لك بمؤمنين أي نرفضك. We reject you. That's the meaning of فما نحن لك بمؤمنين. Has a meaning of نرفضك. We reject you. Whatever you bring us, we reject you. In meaning only. So you say the jumla فما نحن لك بمؤمنين. الجملة في محل ماذا؟ في محل جزم. جوابا للشرط. جوابا للشرط مهما. مهما has a فعل and a jawab. طيب, then we have أي. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen gave us an example. You guys wrote it down? أي كتاب تقرأ أقرأ. نعم. Whatever book you read, I read. Like I follow you. Like I take you as my example. You're ahead of me, so whatever you read, I'm behind you. I read it. متى تقيم الصلاة تجد الراحة. That's just an example, not specific to anyone, but anything like that. Meta, whenever. Meta can have another meaning when it comes istifhamiyah. Meta al-maghrib. Meta غروب الشمس. بعد 10 دقائق. كذا. You ask, when is something? متى. متى يوم الجمعة. بعد يوم الخميس. متى شهر صفر. هو الشهر القادم. It's the next month. You ask about when something is. That's not the meta we're talking about. The meta we need here is متى تفعل يفعل بك. When you do this, this happens to you. You've got something that happens and then a jawab. You've got a response. And today I have to introduce to you something that wasn't introduced yet, and that's the taqdeer of the fi'l shart in the orders and prohibitions. Taqdeer, yeah, it's coming up. I'll give it to you at the end, inshallah ta'ala. Ayana, the 14th one, ayana. So ayana has like the meaning of meta, whenever. Ayana talqani ukrimka. You could say ayana tuqim as-salat tajid al-raha, since it has the same meaning as meta. Aina, number 15, aina. We have an ayah from the book of Allah Ta'ala that adds the ma, kalimat ma. Aina ma takunu yudrikkum al-mautu. Aina ma takunu yudrikkum al-maut. Yeah, so make i'rab of takunu. Who got it? I'rab of takunu. Who's got it? Go ahead. Jibrilu. فعل مضارع. مجزوم. بأين. Nice. وعلامة جزمه الحذف. حذف النون. أحسنت. بارك الله فيك. لأنه من الأمثلة الخمسة. where's the جواب الشرط؟ يدرككم. طيب, فأعرب يدرك.
فعل مضارع مجزوم.
جوابا للشرط أين.
وعلامة جزمه
السكون. يدرككم الموت. Nice. أحسنت. بارك الله فيكم. Then we have أن. أن, which has the meaning of however, has the meaning of كيف or كيفما. أن has the meaning of كيفما, however. But أن can also come as a question. أن لك هذا. Oh Maryam, how you have this food? How you have these fruits from the summertime in the winter? أن لك هذا. How did you get this? So it's just a question there. أن. مشددة نعم not أنا because that would be the ضمير المتكلم but أنا. So for example in the hadith of Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه إن الله أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين to the end ذكر الرجل يطيل السفر أشعث أغبر يمد يديه إلى السماء يقول يا ربي ومطعمه حرام ومشربه حرام وملبسه حرام وغذي بالحرام فأنا يستجاب له. That's just a question. كيف has the meaning of فكيف يستجاب له يعني مستحيل or مستبعد بعيد جدا. كيف فأنا يستجاب لذلك or فأنا يستجاب له. The wording of the Arba'in I think is لذلك. It comes in some of the versions of the hadith له فأنا يستجاب له. Notice it's yustajabu. The fi'l is not affected by this فأنا because it's just a question. It's like أين. So أين زيد أين يذهب زيد. You don't say أين يذهب make it majzoom. No. That's only when you use it with a fi'l and a shart. And you say أينما يذهب زيد يذهب أبوه. أينما يذهب زيد يذهب مجزوم. أينما يذهب زيد يذهب أخوه. So you have يذهب as the same verb for the jawab and the shart. But then you say أين, you just say أين زيد أين يذهب. Then it's يذهب مرفوع. There's no jazm there. أين يذهب زيد أين كيف like that. Just كيف أين and أن and so on. حيثما yeah. Anna means kaifa. So kaifa kind of doesn't fit with and it's however Zayd goes, I go. If you mean here by car or by foot, if someone says, is Zayd riding or is he walking? You say, Anna yadhab Zaydun adhab. I mean, however he goes, I go. If he goes in the car, I'm with him in the car. If he walks, I walk with him. If that's what you mean. But if you mean aina, wherever he goes, I go to that place too, then we're going to use aina and not anna. Get the difference? So anna would be however, and aina is going to be wherever. Haythuma. That's our 17th one. We did not cover this one, right? Haythuma takunu yakunillahu ma'akum. Haythuma. It has the meaning of aynama. Haythuma takunu yakunillahu ma'akum. Not yakunu, but yakun. Yakunillahu. Yakunillahu. Haythuma takunu yakunillahu ma'akum. Because why? There's no gathering of three except he's the fourth. ولا أدنى من ذلك ولا أكثر إلا هو معهم أينما كانوا. There's أينما, but that's just أين. That's not really a jawab, a shart and a jawab. حيثما has a dhamma on the tha, and كيفما has a fatha on the fa. حيثما and كيفما. كيفما. كيفما تكون الأمة يكون الولاة. كيفما تكون الأمة. تكون. Make it إعراب of تكن يا أبا مريم. كيفما تكون الأمة. تكن. فعل المضارع. مجزوم. أيوة. كيفما. أيوة. وعلامة جزمه. وهو فعل الشرط because there's يعني كيفما تجزم فعلين. So you want to identify it as the فعل الشرط من كيفما. فعل شرط نعم. وعلامة جزمه. أيوة. السكون. أيوة السكون. And then it's not there because it's كيفما تكون تكوني الأمة. The kasra is عارضة. It's put there because of the sukun on the noon and then the sukun of the alif from al-umma. So we had to put a kasra on the noon. كيفما تكون الأمة يكون الولاة. يكون الولاة. So it's originally takunu. However, كيفما, you know, how just like كيف, you know the word كيف. كيفما تكون الأمة. However the ummah is, تكون الولاة. يكون الولاة. The leaders will be like that. However the ummah is, the leaders will be like that. That's an observation. حقا. أي ولاة. الولاة. كيفما تكون الأمة يكون الولاة. However the people are, that's how their leader is. Don't say the leader's a zalim. And the people are all great. They're doing fine. And then I'm going to leave the example for number 19. As for the Ida and Shi'r Khassa, leave it for now. Because it's special. It's only for poetry. It's an exception and all of that. Let's not busy ourselves with the Ida fi Shi'r. And it's not even counted, if you notice, by Ibn Ajurrum. He said there are 18. The Ida is number 19. So it's just like an added benefit there. And there's lots of added benefits and footnotes and little things we can add to all this. But let's keep it at an introductory level. So let's forget the Ida and just focus on the first 18. And between the Adhan and the Iqamah, inshallah ta'ala, I'll give you the Fi'lu Amr that has a Jawab, which is not mentioned here. The Fi'lu Amr that has a Jawab. Majzoom. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. طيب, so then in the khutbah we hear this. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullah wa qulu qawlan sadida. So ittaqullah is what? Fi'lu Amr. Ittaqullah. We're not worried about that because we're in the mudari'ah. We're doing fi'l mudari'. We're not doing fi'l Amr. As fi'l Amr, it's mabni and we're not dealing with it. But here's a fi'l Amr. It's not our focus, but somehow it's connected. Ittaqullah wa qulu qawlan sadida. يصلح لكم not يصلح لكم but يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم not يغفر لكم. So I ask you now, where is the jazm? And we've got two verbs that are majzoom here. يصلح لكم أعمالكم يصلح لكم أعمالكم. You're very clear at this point now. If there's a fi'l mudari' majzoom, there has to be a jazm, right? That's our job now. Right now, if we just took all 18 jawazim, we cannot allow ourselves to pass by a fi'l majzoom, except we ask, what's the jazim? We should be looking at that in every ayah of the Quran with a fi'l mudari' majzoom. We should say, I need to know what the jazim is. What's the adat jazima? So where is it? Yuslih lakum a'malakum. Jawab al-shart. Okay, so there's a condition here, but it's not stated. Allah orders you, fear Allah, say a word of truth straight to the point. Yuslih lakum a'malakum. Notice, yuslih lakum a'malakum is not for everyone who hears this order. Who's it for? It's the one who hears the order and implements the order. So it's as if, with this construction, it's as if there's a condition mentioned there. وَإِنِ اتَّقَيْتُمُ اللَّهِ وَإِن قُلْتُمْ قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Or وَإِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Let's keep it فعل مضارع. وَإِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهِ وَتَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. That's your condition. If you fear Allah and if you speak a word of truth, يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ. Now it's جواب الشرط. So we call this جواب فعل الشرط. مقدر. That is مقدر, meaning it's not stated, but it's understood from the passage. And this comes with every order and prohibition that has a جواب مجزوم. So for example, احفظ الله. Preserve the limits of Allah and what? يحفظك. Not يحفظك, but يحفظك. يحفظك. It's strange to see Ibn Ajurrum mention 18 jawazim, and he doesn't mention this one, which is so common, and a beginner student needs to know about this one. But as for إِذَا فِي الشِّعْرِ خَاصًا and all of that, that's a bit advanced. But this one, you got to see it in texts all over the place. The Khatib says in Saudi Arabia a lot, right? اذكروا الله يذكركم. Yeah, اذكروا الله أنتم اذكروا الله وإن تذكروا الله يذكركم. We have احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. Preserve the limits of Allah. تجده, not تجده. 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 You got another one about Maryam. You got another one Jibreel. You got another one Ibrahim. Hanifu. اتق الله يجعل لكم. أيوة اتقوا الله يجعل لكم فرقانا. So fear Allah, He'll make a furqan for you. He'll give you a criterion to distinguish between truth and falsehood. اتقوا الله يجعل لكم فرقانا. Now, so the actual wording of the verse as found in Surah Al-Anfal, the 29th verse, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who have believed, إن تتقوا الله, within أداة جازمة, if you have taqwa of Allah, يجعل لكم فرقانا. يجعل مجزوما. يجعل فعل مضارع مجزوم. جواب الشرط. يجعل لكم فرقانا. Now we have more. ويكفر عنكم سيئاتكم. We've got ويكفر معطوفا عليه. Added on here another verb here, which takes the ruling of يجعل being majzoom. We have ويكفر عنكم سيئاتكم. ويغفر لكم, also majzoom. Review that verse. Verse number 29 from Surah Al-Anfal. ومن يتق الله. That's a man and a jawab. Yeah. ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب. معطوف. It's not a third فعل مجزوم from the same أداة, but it's معطوف على الثاني. معطوف على جواب الشرط from ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب. That's a men which has preceded. I'm looking for this amr and the jawab of the amr. Now sometimes the i'rab for the jawab al-amr, like احفظ الله يحفظك be majzoom, and sometimes the easy way out, the junior i'rab, is just to say jawab al-talab. Majzoom, jawab al-talab. That's if we were going to make it a jazima, like a talab is a jazim. And then we say jawab al-talab is majzoom. But what's more correct is that it's not just a jawab of the talab, it's the jawab of the shart, like you're ordered to do this. And it's not contingent on the order being directed to you, it's contingent on you doing something after the order. If you fulfill that order, then you get the conditional reward. That's the point. So there's something really there that's understood that has to be stated in the i'rab and brought out. That there's taqdeer here. There's a understood verb, and it's a fi'l mudari, and it's majzoom, and it's your fi'l shart. And then jawabuhu is the one that's spoken. هذا والله أعلم. I said one thing too, we had to review what's the i'rab of fi'l amr, and I said it's something we have to review at the end of the jawazim. What's the i'rab of fi'l amr? Ibn Ajrum says majzumun abadan, but we said it's mabni. What's more correct is to say it's mabni, but it's not mabni ala al-fath or mabni ala one thing. It's mabni ala ma yujzamu bihi mudari'uhu. So whatever the mudari' would be majzoom as the sign of the jazm, that's the sign of its bina. So uq'ud, I tell you, command you to sit down. Uq'ud, go to the mudari', yaq'udu, make it majzoom. Lam yaq'ud. The sign of it being majzoom is the sukun. So the sign of the bina for uq'ud, you say it's mabni ala sukun. It's uq'udu. Go to the mudari', lam yaq'udu with a noon mahdhuf. So you say uq'udu is mabni ala hadf al-noon. We'll talk about that more later. I think that's the iqamah they're calling. Wallahu a'lam wa salli Allahumma wa sallim wa barik ala nabiyyina Muhammad.